You're saying we can measure Earth flat.
Yeah, we can measure the flatness of the Earth. You can measure local flatness on Earth. We can measure local flatness. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can measure. So on Earth, there is a local flatness and is in contact with the flat surface. You have local flatness. Earth, local flatness is within 6 miles.
You're saying we can measure Earth locally flat.
Yes. In order for me to have contact with the flat ground, local flatness is real, and you can have local flatness with what we observe is local flatness.
Okay. Given that we measure Earth flat, I'm happy to accept that Earth is measured flat and ignore all apologetics for everything beyond the actual measurement of Earth, which you have made clear is flat. Just one more summary. We will be measuring Earth flat by your own words. That is how Earth is measured.
It's measured flat. Number one, a basketball is round. It is a sphere. Okay. Number two, I have a flat surface. I take the basketball, I put it on the flat surface. If I can detect that the basketball is indeed touching the flat surface, that means there has to be a flat section of the basketball in order for me to have contact with the flat ground. Therefore, local flatness is real, and you can have local flatness within a sphere. And what we observe within a 6 mile is local flatness.
Well, you don't. Can everyone else please? Okay, everyone else apart from ad nauseum, please can you stop interrupting him? I just want to hear his claim.
That is ad nauseum. He's laughing at himself, thinking he's debunked flat Earth with his basketball not rolling on a level surface.
Okay, I just need to hear it unimpeded. So you're saying it's okay, we can measure Earth flat because there's a local flat surface, correct?
The fact that the basketball is touching the ground means that there is a section on the basketball that is flat and is in contact with the flat surface, right? And so that means that within a sphere, you have local flatness.
Okay.
So on Earth, local flatness is within 6 miles.
You're saying we can measure Earth locally flat?
Yes.
Just tell us, just say it.
Yeah, we can measure, so on Earth, there is a local flatness.
That we can measure?
We can measure local flatness, yeah, sure, right?
Can you just string that?
We have a larger.
It's like pulling teeth. Can you just string that all together as one sentence?
You can measure local flatness on Earth within 6 miles, and then it drops, I think, 22 feet after that.
Sorry.
The curvature drops.
Sorry, you added something to it now. You're saying we can measure Earth flat?
Yeah, we can measure the flatness of the Earth.
Okay. Well,
6 miles.
Thank you. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm going to respond to you ad nauseum. We got it twice. You've repeated it. I've clarified it. There is eventually going to be a point that you stop talking, or did you want to go indefinitely? Am I going to get to respond? We've clarified your position. You've repeated it. I got it. So, that means you've got to stop talking now, otherwise it's unreasonable, and I've got to ask someone to step in because you're still talking off mute while I'm trying to respond to you. Now all I'm doing is addressing the fact that you're not on mute, and the server moderators have had to step in. I understood from your statement, because it was clear, that we will be measuring Earth flat. Given that we measure Earth flat, I'm happy to accept that Earth is measured flat, and ignore all apologetics for everything beyond the actual measurement of Earth, which you have made clear is flat. Just one more summary. We will be measuring Earth flat by your own words. That is how Earth is measured. Earth is flat. Thank you for telling us how Earth will be measured flat. Welcome to flat Earth. That's how it's measured.
No, you're missing the point.
It's a fantastic rebuttal.
I took a sphere, the basketball. I placed it on a flat surface.
I heard you the first 2 times. You don't need to repeat it a third time ad nauseum. I heard you the first 2 times. Thank you very much. I heard you, and I got you to repeat it, and now you're repeating it again. You're not responding to what I've said. What you're doing ad nauseum. Please, can you stop talking? Just take him off server mute so I can hopefully have a reasonable conversation with him without him chanting through me with the same thing I've heard twice already. Ad nauseum. I'm trying to have a decent conversation with you. That doesn't involve you talking while I'm talking. I've heard it twice. I don't need it repeating through the top of what I'm saying a third time, which is what you were about to launch into. The server moderator stopped you. Yeah? Hopefully.
You're missing the point.
Now he's chanting through me. I haven't finished. Just try and get a grip. Try and keep yourself nice and calm and wait till I've finished. Then you can respond ad nauseum. I'll stop anybody else chanting through you. You're still off mute, by the way. Could you just pop yourself on local mute? Eventually the server moderators will have to do it for you, like a little child that can't cope with a little button. Thank you. You've been non-responsive to what I put to you. Now I'm hoping that on the third attempt you'll actually address the facts of the matter in terms of how Earth is measured flat. End quote. You. That's how it's measured. So given that we measure Earth flat...
Yeah, we can measure the flatness of the Earth.
I'm happy to accept those flat Earth measurements, end quote you, that you told us about, and ignore the apologies for how ball-shaped it isn't being measured, because it is factually measured flat, and you know that. Now, you also launched into telling me about how a basketball... I'm not standing on a basketball. And if you put it on a flat surface, who gives a crap? That's not Earth. That's a basketball. But you used it as a justification for how we could, quote, measure Earth flat. And that is how we are measuring Earth. You're now, in 2024, the 6th person to have told us overtly that Earth is, quote, measured flat.
It's going to be flat. It's going to be flat enough for you to utilize any construction built within that radius.
Within our vicinity, yes, we can measure flatness to a precise enough degree.
Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
Curvature is insignificant.
The Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
So we can measure Earth flat.
Insignificant.
Since you just talked about elevation angles, the Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface. That's what a big globe predicts.
Curvature is insignificant.
With a flat Earth.
How else would they measure it?
The Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
Flat. Be flat enough flat. You be flat enough flat. You be flat.
And that's all there is to it.
So it's okay, we can measure Earth flat, right?
Yes, within our vicinity, yes, we can measure flatness to a precise enough degree that is useful for our human size.
Now, given that that's how it's measured, nothing else really matters, because there aren't any globe measurements. I mean, you can apologise all you like and tell us how, oh, well, it's only after the 60 miles that the curve isn't measured. Well, what about what is measured? Well, that's the flat bit that you've made explicitly clear we'll be measuring. Okay, Earth's measured flat, I already knew that. So do you. Welcome to Flat Earth.
It's measured flat, but it's not really flat. It's relatively flat. It's not completely flat.
Sorry, one more time.
And,
Sorry, just one more time. It's measured flat, but just relatively flat. Do you want to just one more time?
Yeah, it's just measured within 6 miles. It's measured relatively flat. Well, when you go beyond the 6 miles, you have a dip around 20
So can you show us the measurement of that then, please? Show us the measurement.
I don't think anybody's measured 6 miles.
So we can ignore it then. Stop. So we can ignore the bit that isn't measured. You could just laugh through me. Can you mute him while I point out that he's telling us there is no... You could just laugh through the painful truth that you've just told me. You haven't got a curve measurement. You could just laugh through it. But the server moderator's about to step in because it's a neutral platform where wankers who just laugh through the top of their demolition decide that they're not going to stop until someone stops them. Hey, prick. Earth is measured flat. End quote. You.
It's measured flat. It's measured relatively flat. It's measured flat. Yeah, we can measure the flatness of the Earth.
What's that about Earth curve measurements? You haven't got any? Well, then I don't need to worry about what
sorry,
isn't
bro.
measured, Curvy, or your apologetics for why it isn't measured, Curvy, because Earth is measured flat, end quote. You. So I'll just take the bit that's measured, if that's all right. I'll ignore the bit that you say isn't measured, and your apologies for why you wouldn't be able to or haven't measured it. But we have measured it flat. Thanks ad nauseum. One more time. Welcome to Flat Earth. That is how Earth is measured, and as you've also conceded, there aren't any curve measurements, just your belief, son.
It's measured flat. You can measure local flatness on Earth.
You're saying we can
Okay.
measure Earth flat.
Yeah, we can measure the Earth flat.
Earth is flat. Thank you for telling us how Earth will be measured flat. Welcome to Flat Earth.